Before I begin, I'd like to ask everybody to hold their questions until the end. Did you know, according to Capital Area Food Bank's website, that more than 1 in 3 Texas children are at risk of hunger? Instead of sitting on your couch all day with plenty of food at your disposal, why don't you do something beneficial with your free time, like helping people who are less fortunate than you? My name is Derek Davies, and I'm a volunteer with Capital Area Food Bank. I've been a volunteer coordinator here for 5 years now, and I've been volunteering since I was 8 years old in Boy Scouts. My purpose here today is to show you all a new incentive on how to recruit volunteers for this organization, and hopefully word will spread about how great of a program this is. First, I'll cover some of our current methods that are not working. Then I will address a new incentive program that I've created that can help fix many of these problems. And lastly, I'll explain the advantages of implementing this change. I'm going to explain a little bit about the volunteer process and what it consists of. First, it consists of organizing, checking, and cleaning the products so that everything is ready and safe to ship out to those in need, which consists of food, medicine, frozen foods, a variety of different things. So when people volunteer, you can choose what you'd like to work with. First, I'm going to move on to my first point. According to the news agency MyFox News, demand at the Capital Area Food Bank is at an all-time high. A major problem that we currently have is a lack of volunteers to help out with the vast amounts of food that are coming in. Part of the problem is because people are not familiar with this organization, and there's also a lack of volunteer work being done by today's generation. One other problem is that the hours we have in place are very difficult for people to maneuver around because they are in 3 to 4 hour increments from the morning to night, and sometimes it's hard if you can't do it after school because the organization closes at 5 o'clock. My second point, I'm going to address how to solve some of these problems. I've come up with an incentive program, as I said before, and it consists of gathering a group of friends and family together to volunteer for 4 consecutive months. Whichever combined group volunteers the most and sends out the most pounds of products will be awarded a prestige honor in the local papers, news, and you will have like a picture in HEB because we work with HEB and get all their expired food that's still safe to eat and whatnot, and cans that are not being sold. This will not only be great to include on your resume, which would look great considering our history, but it will also open up multiple job opportunities for you with our very many partners that help donate and volunteer with it and help donate with the organization. This method is better than word of mouth recruiting because it's more fun and people will be more interested in what they're doing. And to solve the bad volunteer hours situation, there's going to be no certain schedule that you have to volunteer because we're going to stick with the regular volunteer hours that we have in place, but also if you're in this incentive program, you can choose your own hours as long as you do a minimum of 10 a week. My last point I'd like to address is the advantages of this incentive program. They're that the more people that you bring in as a group will begin to realize through volunteering how much of a difference that can be made and know what volunteering consists of. They'll be ruling out the fear of like who knows what you'll do. Everybody's afraid to make that first step, but once they do, then they're going to realize that it was the good thing. This will then hopefully result in more people volunteering after the incentive program is over, bringing in more friends and helping support in any way that they can. In conclusion, today I talked about the lack of people volunteering, the new incentive program that I've came up with, and lastly the impacts and advantages that this program will have on everybody in general. On my handout that I passed out earlier, we'll be able to read some of our history and some of the interesting facts about the Central Area Food Bank, and also how to sign up for volunteering. One fact on this sheet, as you can see on the right-hand side, says that 34% of food bank recipients report having to choose between paying for medicine or health care and buying food. This just goes to show you that people are really struggling for food because they would put their own health over it and to support their kids. At the bottom, it's going to show you how to register for your volunteer session. It's pretty easy. You just go to the website, go to the left-hand side of the page and make a username and volunteer. And after that, once you have your username, it's very simple to continue to redo this process every time you volunteer. And I also have the address located at the bottom. The more consistent amount of volunteers we have is better for sudden events such as the latest Austin floodings and which, according to the Austin American Statesman, the Capital Area Food Bank has greatly helped support these people in need. I kindly ask all of you to help support this new incentive program I have by taking action and joining in with your peers to help create a world with no hunger. Thank you guys for listening to my presentation, and I'll take questions at this time.